What's up, guys? RATDE here, coming back to you guys with another Tom Clancy The Division video here. We're going to be talking about how to create a high DPS and tanky build. Now, those two don't go one-on-one. Usually when you have really high firearms, you can't get a super high stamina rating, so you're not going to be able to eat a lot of shots. But the way we set this up here with the skills and all of your different perks and abilities that you'll have on all your armor pieces with critical hit chance and crit damage increases and stuff like that, will get you a really high damage dealing build. Combined with a couple skills, you can be tanky as hell and take down quite a bit of PvP players in a duration of time from when these skills are activated. So let's jump right into it here with the armor pieces. Now, I am still working on the backpack and the vest pieces, and I will show you which ones you should get and what abilities you should have on them. But I don't have them here, but I'll be talking about everything else, and I'll explain that to you now. So we're going to start with the gloves. So the gloves you're going to want to have, again, I need to re-roll some things here, but this is a pretty good pair of gloves for now. Gloves, you're going to want to have an increase in your primary weapon type damage. So I'm using assault rifles. I love assault rifles, so I have an increase in assault rifle damage. Now these other two here, I wish I re-rolled this one to get this skill. These other two I wish were crit chance and crit damage. You could do with either or, depending on if you're using an SMG, because SMGs have already an increase in crit chance. See, it's weird. So assault rifles don't have that good of crit chance. So what you're always going to want to do is get crit chance mods or attributes on your armor pieces, especially on your gloves. It'd be good to have assault rifle damage and crit chance here, and then maybe like some damage to elites or some resistance or something like that. But if you can get crit chance and crit damage as well as assault rifle damage, you'll have like a golden piece of armor. But if you're using assault rifles, you're going to want to have increase in if you're using SMGs, you're going to want to have an increase in SMG damage. And since SMGs already have increase in crit chance, you might as well get crit damage as a primary thing, because there's no point for assault rifles in having increased crit chance or crit damage if you can't ever get a crit chance. SMGs already have crit chance into them, so you're already going to do over 20% more than assault rifles already have, so you might as well get crit damage with them, because you're already going to be critically 20% more anyway, so you might as well make each one of those shots more effective by increasing the crit damage. So that's what you're going to want on your gloves. On your holsters are mainly just there to increase your stats. So just get something good, get a high-end piece so you can get that talent there. And you can get something like this or re-roll something to get a different ability, but mainly your holster is just kind of what you want to do. Just make sure it has all three skill or all three stats, stamina, increase, and is electronics and firearms as well. So make sure don't get one with just two. Get one with three, and then you'll be fine as far as your holster goes. Your pads, your knee pads should always have an increase in crit damage, because they can get crit damage. They can't get crit chance. At least as far as when I've seen it, they only get crit damage as it, and then everything else doesn't really matter. Try to get one with a mod on it so you can increase some other things. Now, I would follow exactly what I'm doing here to give you a lot of stamina and DPS at the same time, so I opted for the stamina pads is what I would recommend, as well as for the gloves I opted for the firearms, and then like I said with the holster you should get all three. Now, one of the key components to having a good build for crit chance is your mask. Your mask is one of the only pieces that can actually get crit chance, so for the love of God, get a mask that has crit hit chance on it. I have 4.5%. It's actually pretty good with a decent ability, and I highly recommend getting high-end pieces of gear because you can get that talent on them. Superior pieces of gear don't have talents at all, and sometimes you can get something really good to increase. I know there's a mask, there's a tactical mask out there that you can get that increases 9.5% of damage for 9.5 seconds. So that's pretty good after using a med kit. Okay. Now, for the backpack and the vest, we're going to talk about here. You're going to want to come over here to the special gear vendor up here in the tech wing. You're going to want to talk to this guy. This is where I got all these blueprints for all this stuff. And up here, you're going to want to get, this is where you can buy the knee pads and stuff. I would get the stamina one, like I said. And this is where you get all of your good stuff. These are all better than the ones that you can buy in the Dark Zone for Phoenix credits, but these ones are not for Phoenix credits, for Dark Zone credits, but these ones cost Phoenix credits, which are kind of scarce. But again, I would highly recommend getting these ones because they can be anywhere from from 70 to 100 points better on your stat, depending on which one you get. So with the backpack, I would go for a stamina pack. This one here is the one that I would get, and of course it just has a generic stamina backpack blueprint, and then as you keep creating them, you'll get ones with different names and stuff like that. I think I actually have the vest. I can't ever find the vest here. Okay, maybe it's not here. Maybe I already have it. But for the vest, I think I do have it over here, and I will show you guys that. So the vest is going to be... Let's see what we got here. You're going to want to get one with firearms on it. This one here. Again, this is one from the Dark Zone, I believe. So you can probably get one from the... you can tell if it's a Dark Zone one because it takes the vision tech. But you're going to want to get one with the Phoenix credits for the vest. And you're going to want to increase the firearms. And this should have stuff like armor on it, as well as protection against elites and damage against elites and stuff like that. Now, we're going to talk about weapons. So your weapons here, you're going to want to have certain scopes and stuff. So your scope should always have a higher increase in either crit chance or crit damage. Again, I'm using an assault rifle that doesn't have built-in crit chance, so I opted for the crit chance here instead of the damage, because again, there's no point in having something with a high crit damage if you can't ever hit that crit shot, which is the case with assault rifles. Magazine, you should always get something that increases your magazine size and the rate of fire, because it'll just give you higher DPS. You could opt for one with the crit chance on it or crit damage, but I would still highly recommend going with one with magazine size and rate of fire, because the more bullets that you can get leaving your gun per second, and the higher magazine size you can have, it will increase your DPS significantly. The grip doesn't really matter. I recommend getting something with high accuracy because that increases your stability. Your DPS by a lot. And stability and accuracy on grips kind of go one and one. I think you can get one with crit chance, but I would just go with stability and accuracy. Now your muzzle, something that you're going to put on your gun. Again, depending on what weapon you're using. I'm using an assault rifle that doesn't have crit chance built into it, so I went with a crit chance flash hider, as well as an increase in accuracy, which increases your DPS by quite a bit. As you can see here, the main thing dropping my DPS between these two is the accuracy rating there. See, I could get one with crit damage by 30%, which is ridiculous. But again, there's no point in having a high crit damage if I can't ever hit a crit shot. So that's why this is actually sitting on my Midas weapon, because it already has increase in crit chance here, 24%. So it's better to use higher crit damage on SMGs because they already have such a high rating of crit chance. So now we're going to move on to your I guess we could go to the skills here. So I have everything unlocked. You're going to want to take, to increase all of these stats overall, crit damage and crit chance, scanner. Preferably use the tactical scanner modification because it gives you increased damage while attacking these targets as well as them being pulsed. So you're going to get crit damage and crit chance just because it's that. Even the base one already has it. This one's going to increase it even more, and it's going to give you increased damage because they are pinged, even if you don't even hit a crit shot. So you're still going to increase damage. And the mastery just allows you early warning. Not really necessary. I guess you could use it if you want to. For the second one, you're always going to have yourself something that you can heal yourself with, especially if you're going to go solo and be tanky as hell. So I go with the base first aid, and then I click on booster shot. Temporary increase in damage. It gives you damage, which is the whole point of this build. So it gives you damage, and one of the cool things for it as well is it gives you damage resistance as well as damage increase. So that's good. The mastery is actually pretty good. It extends the duration of it for a while and allows some of your allies, so you can activate it as you're running, and an ally can run into it and then get it as well. So that's good. So go with these two. Gives you increase in damage and damage resistance as well as health, highly necessary, and this increases your crit chance and crit damage, as well as giving you damage towards pulsed enemies. Now for your signature ability, please for the love of God, don't think just because we're high DPS classes or builds that you need Tactical Link. Tactical Link is not necessary at all because you're already going to be doing an increased amount of damage, but there's no way you can survive a bunch of 4 PvE or PvP players shooting at you at the same time to do your increased damage if you don't even have a chance. So that's why you're going to go with Survivor Link. This mitigates 80% of damage coming inbound to you and gives you a nice little increase in speed as well, which is always good to run away from people. And the cool thing about it is it lasts 3 seconds higher than this one, so you're going to be able to have it for a little bit longer time. Now, it does have a long cooldown, but it is it's a signature ability, so I don't know what you expect. So please take Survivor Link. It'll make you tanky as hell, and you can do that increase in damage. Now we're gonna look at the skills or the abilities here. So skills. Now we're taking a look at talents. This is to make you tanky as hell. So critical save allows you when you use a med kit. Yeah, it gives you 40%. So that's half of what your Survivor Link will give you. 40%. So as soon as you lose a med kit, bam, heal yourself all the way up, especially with another companion of Combat Medic. Now, for some reason, this game counts you as a group member, so it gives you automatically, each med kit does 40% more. So I think a med kit does about 1 bar of health, so it'll give you 40% more once you use one of these, and then it increases your med kit. Like, literally, if you have like a sliver of health, it'll give you almost all of your health back. And at the same time, these will go 1 and 1, so you'll get more health per med kit, more effective med kits, and at the same time you can get 40% less damage to you during that time for 10 seconds. Now another one is when you're tanky as hell and you're playing PvP, you're going to be flipping around, trying to avoid people and stuff, getting people in choke points, turning around on corners while people are running at you thinking that you're still running, and then you're going to want to use this one here. This is on the move. Killing someone while you're walking, and as long as you're not standing still, if you're walking or running, oh, I guess you can't really run and shoot unless you're using like a sticky mine or something like that. But while you're walking around, it gives you 30%. So that's 30%. So literally, that's almost half of your Survivor Link in one perk for 10 seconds just by killing somebody while you're already going to be taking damage anyway because you're not going to be behind cover. Now, to go along with that, you're going to want, every time you get a headshot, 50% chance to not consume that bullet. And the cool thing about one is none is you can, that same bullet that you just saved, you can have a 50% chance to save it again, significantly increasing your clip size if you're hitting headshots, as well as doing headshot damage already, and it could do a critical headshot, and at the same time you can consistently get more ammo. So this will increase your DPS significantly. So a magazine that has around 30 rounds, if you have good luck in that particular gunfight, you could possibly double that, or even get like 70 rounds because you could save the same bullet twice. Okay guys, so this has been a build guide for how to create a really high DPS weapon build as well as high stamina to make you tanky sound. Now this is, I'm going to be reiterating this in the future once I get some high-end attachments and stuff like that for my guns, as well as get the chest piece and the backpack up, as well as get high-end mods for these as well. So if you have any suggestions of how to increase this and stuff like that, please leave comments down below. This has been Right in the Eye here from Tech Devils, RITDE. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.